We're going to get to our predictions now. I'll go first with Microsoft, and then we'll do the rotating thing we did last week. Sorry if I undercut some of you, because my first one is you guys are going to have this on your list. If it's different enough, you're more than welcome to mention it, but I'm going to go first. The Slim is going to be coming out in October at a price point of $249.99.
Okay.
I also think, and this is a double bonus to it, it makes sense. October, what else comes out in October? Gears of War 4. Guess what's going to have a bundle with the console? Gears of War 4.
Ooh.
So I think October release date $249.99, and there's gonna be a Gears of War bundle that happens, and it's gonna be a cool, sleek black and red or red and white Gears of War 4 Xbox Slim. That's my first prediction, and my bold prediction, I guess we'll give them both right away, is Playtonic is going to be on stage for Microsoft, and they're going to show something that's exclusive to Microsoft for Yooka-Laylee. A lot of these guys worked at Rare. Obviously, Rare has a huge tie to Microsoft, considering they're owned by them. And I think they have a deal in the works that Yooka-Laylee is going to have something exclusive to the Microsoft platform. Maybe a Banjo-Kazooie level. Maybe Banjo and Kazooie are playable characters in Yooka-Laylee. I think my bold prediction is that Playtonic's going to unveil something exclusive to Microsoft for Yooka-Laylee. And so Jordan, what's yours? Your Microsoft predictions?
For Microsoft, I have quite a few here.
Only two. You can't dip your hand in the honey pot.
You didn't tell me that before the show. I just did a bunch.
Regular and bold, because we all have to have even, because it's a point system to see who wins.
Okay, so
and then you can go over the ones you don't choose, but I need to know your two definitive ones that count.
Okay, so some of these are kind of crap anyways, so we're good. I will say my not so bold one is just Crackdown 3, if not release date, then window. They've got to do something with this game. People are just, losing hype over this by the second, and this game needs to come out. So, like I said, not super bold, but hopefully an actual solid date, not just window. And then my bold one, you guys are going to love this. You ready?
Mom spaghetti.
Vomit on a sweater already.
All right. E3 2016 huge game reveal is Sunset Overdrive 2, baby. It's happening.
Ooh, interesting.
I know that game didn't sell all that well, but it was a critical darling. I mean,
and it was free on Xbox, so a lot of more people got their hands on it.
True.
Maybe that's why it became free.
I think Microsoft didn't market that game well at all. No one knew that it was coming out. That game is one of my favorite of all time, and I think just one of the best fun video games that there are. And I think that there's more gamers out there, especially the more casual side of gamers, that want just straight up fun games that aren't so serious and bogged down with these crazy deep systems and all that. So I think Microsoft is honestly, even though it didn't sell that well, I think they'd be stupid not to bring Sunset Overdrive back, because that is such a good game.
So, Dom, let's get into your predictions. I've seen you sitting there waiting, chomping at the bit.
So, yeah, Jared, I'm going to go head-to-head with you on the Xbox Slim prediction. I'm going to say it comes out at $300.
Okay.
And the original Xbox One, it's marked down to $250, like permanently, even with all sorts of business bundled into it too.
Got you.
So
okay.
I'm gonna give you $50 leeway on the Slim prediction. And that's.
But you also have the point. You also have the point that the regular one's getting turned down, so you get a double banger there too. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
double
kind of
banger.
So and that's my obvious what we think is pretty for sure.
Yeah.
For my bold prediction, now stay with me. This is kind of big. Scorpio is going to be revealed, announced. Going to come out. They're not going to give an exact day. They're going to say early 2017 or spring 2017. It's going to be $500. They might not say that though this early, but actually they'll definitely omit the price at this point. So we'll leave that for a later prediction.
$499.99.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's more than that, what's going to make this bold, and they kind of hinted at this, is that Scorpio alone, not the original Xbox or the Xbox Slim, will be very compatible with Oculus, to the point where pretty much any major game on Oculus will also run on Scorpio. I mean, and then all you would have to do is buy the Scorpio and the headset without a separate PC. So that is the part that is a
I
little
don't know
bit
what this
out there.
Scorpio is, but I'm pretty sure you're talking about the Xbox Big Boy.
We made a declaration. It is the big boy on this podcast.
We're gonna
Dom.
have
There's
to go
no
back and
such
edit
game
that
as
out.
dreams, Dom. Only nightmares.
So I see you there. I do think it makes sense to make sure that you state that the new one, because it gives a reason to buy the new one. Why would VR be compatible on the old ones, and there's no point to buy the new one?
I think they're going to take a different approach than what I think Sony will take with the Neo. I think that this Xbox Big Boy is going to be marketed as like kind of a whole separate thing. It's going to be marketed around VR, whereas the Neo, I think, is going to be marketed more as a slim model with a couple new cool things. But they're not going to push. They're going to emphasize, the graphical fidelity increases that you'll get.
Also, yeah, real quick with this, we could have talked about this earlier in the show. I just want to mention real quick. When we talked about Xbox having all their games be on Windows 10 as well, and you were saying that makes it so I'm never going to buy an Xbox, we didn't think about the opposite ramifications of if they're working with these systems, it could be that Microsoft is working towards getting a lot of PC-only games to the Xbox, Jordan, you're going to tackle this bad boy first, and I'm going to be going last, so hopefully, I have some things left, because I have a couple of things that are very generic. So
Okay, cool. All right, so my not so bold one is a Detroit Beyond Human release window. And the reason I say window is because with the delay of Horizon Zero Dawn, it's getting very tough to think of a Sony first-party title besides MLB The Show, which comes out every year, that hasn't been delayed. Infamous was delayed. Uncharted was delayed multiple times. Horizon was delayed. Order 1886 was delayed. And obviously Last Guardian. So it's kind of like Sony doesn't need to keep delaying stuff. Their fans are already pissed enough as it is. So I don't think they're going to be doing too many of these release dates, even though it bit them in the ass with both Uncharted and Horizon, where they ended the trailer by saying 2015 for Uncharted or 2016 for Horizon, and they never needed to do that. So I wish they would just stop doing that, period.
They're going to play it super safe.
Yeah, you just don't need that extra little bit. Like, it'll come out when it comes out. Just show us the game. So then you're just pissing people off for no reason, I guess.
Yeah.
And then my bold one. Sanzaru Software is making Sly Cooper 5.
That's why you gave me that smirk earlier when I was asking you about them.
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah. So, of course, Sanzaru originally kind of did like a demo-ish type thing of a remastered Sly Cooper collection on PS3. And it turned out Sony liked it so much that they allowed them to do that for real. And, of course, we got the Sly collection on PS3. So once they did that, they did such a good job on that Sony let them make Sly 4, which came out on PS3, and shout out to the Vita. And then even that ended with a teaser for, further Sly Cooper games. And I don't think that, Sly Cooper is definitely not up there with like Gears of War for Microsoft or anything like that. And I get that. It's not a huge franchise. But after what we've seen with Ratchet and Clank and the success of that, how many people bought that on PlayStation 4, I definitely think that Sanzaru Sly 5 is not out of the question.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Any others that you just want to mention that aren't your officials but you had like written down?
I just wrote Ni no Kuni. Ni no Kuni 2, I should say, was revealed last year at PSX last fall, and of course, Ni no Kuni was a big sleeper hit on the PS3, totally Sony exclusive. That one was made between Level 5 and Studio Ghibli, which is a huge anime studio out in Japan. This one doesn't have Studio Ghibli on it, but it does have Level 5. However, I think that it's not quite big enough to be an E3 game. On the flip side of that coin, though, I may have mentioned it earlier. If I didn't, I definitely think we're going to see a JRPG renaissance and a Japanese game renaissance here coming up in these next 2 years. Maybe even here at this E3 with Persona 5 and Final Fantasy 15. So I think Ni no Kuni, once again, is not out of the question. And speaking of, with that Japanese renaissance, I think that we're going to get another PlayStation 4 exclusive from. I think From Software is going to give us a PS4 exclusive, and I'll be
Bloodborne
damned
2?
if it isn't Bloodborne 2, my friends. I would really like to see that happen. Dom, are you crossing out a prediction right now?
Well, no, that wasn't an official prediction. Technically, that was one of your extras, so he can still call it.
True.
No,
True.
I'm glad you say that, and don't worry, it's gonna work out great. So can I just jump in with my predictions then?
Yeah.
That's the only other thing I was going to say was Persona 5 huge gameplay reveal, which we talked about earlier. I was saying that they've got to prove that game to the North American audience, which I hope they do.
Okay.
So I'll start right off with my bold prediction for Sony, and I do think that there's going to be a Bloodborne sequel, but I don't think From Software is making it. I think someone else is going to be making this. So that's where I'm going to differ a little bit. Yeah.
Sony owns that IP, so that's not far-fetched.
So
Exactly.
Bloodborne 2, not From Software.
Because From Software did
Not
say
From
they
From.
were done with this genre for a bit
Yeah.
at least. So, and that's why I make that conjecture. But I still think it's bold that it would get announced this early or anything. So,
Well, From's been churning those out, man. Just like Dark Souls 2 to Bloodborne to Dark Souls 3, those are back-to-back years.
so naturally, I would agree with you. But if it's a different studio making it, I think they might need more time. But yeah.
Can't churn them out like From.
Exactly. So my more stable, obvious prediction is going to be they're going to reveal the PlayStation Neo.
Yeah.
I think it actually is going to be called PS4 .5, or rather
PS4K?
Okay.
PS4K. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to call it, and it's going to come, be released in the fall in October, and it's going to cost $400, and they're going to emphasize extremely that this is not needed. This is just a slim model. And part of that, second part to this prediction is the big feature that they're going to market on this is going to be a 4K Blu-ray player. That's going to be the big thing they're going to market with the Neo. They're not going to go heavy on, all your games are going to run in 4K kind of stuff.
So you're going the opposite of me, or what I at least want them to do, which is don't do 400, do 500, and really blow it out that it is way more powerful. It is a big luxury item. You're saying they're going, no, it's only, $50 or $100 more, and it's more just an incremental upgrade.
Because they felt the feedback that they got when this first was leaked, which was mostly negative. I mean, at least the vocal feedback, right? And I think that, they maybe sort of modified the way they want to do this, and they're going to tone back that stuff. Whereas Microsoft, as I said earlier, I think they're going to do what you're suggesting and kind of go all out and make it work.
Like, this is an upgrade,
the 6 teraflops,
In between the two, the Neo and the Big Boy, I think the Big Boy will do better. Just prediction.
But also, that might contribute to the fact that there's more PlayStation 4s out there right now, which means that you have a bigger audience of people who already own the console that will want to upgrade, as opposed to people who don't own the console at all that want to get a really solid console.
Took the words out of my mouth.
That could lean exactly towards it of not many people owning the Xbox, so that might actually benefit them.
You're talking about people that already have a PS4 and they're like, well, I've been wanting an Xbox One. This is a perfect time to get one.
And it's going to be so powerful, so.
Yeah.
Any extras that don't count down but you wrote down?
Yeah, I'll say Dead Don't Ride gets announced October release date, I'll say. Okay. And it's like an open world zombie survival game or something like that.
Okay. So mine, first one, PSVR. I think Sony's going to show 2 new games that are going to be on work with PSVR exclusively.
And I hope so.
And they're going to be involving PlayStation IP, current IP. And I think they're going to give a release window of around when the PSVR, when Neo comes out and PSVR launches and everything. I think they're going to be around that window, maybe not at release, but around there. And the reason I say this is because they've taken chances with Uncharted, with Golden Abyss, So they're willing to use the IP that they have to try out things. I don't know if it'll be Uncharted, obviously, because it's so close to Uncharted 4 coming out. But I do think my prediction is PSVR 2 PlayStation IP titles with the release window. That's what I have written down.
Okay.
My super bold one, and I had another one, but I think it's not really bold, so I'm not going to count it, and I'll tell you what it is afterwards. My super bold one is Sucker Punch unveils Spider-Man Homecoming PS4 exclusive. Named right after the movie, working congruence with it, helps sell tickets, get people involved into that universe. Though I don't know if it'll be named Homecoming because I doubt it'll have anything to do with the movie, because usually games that are involved with the movie come out around the same time as the movie or afterwards. So I'll just say Sucker Punch Spider-Man game is unveiled. Won't release. I'll say release date 2017. It won't come out this year, obviously, no way.
Is it going to have that horseshit logo on there?
Maybe.
That logo for Spider-Man Homecoming is so bad.
So my extra one that I had here was Ni no Kuni 2 release date. I don't think that's that bold, and I wanted to really do my PSVR one, so I just threw it to the side.
Yeah.
Lastly, the others. This could be anything. This could be saying a game that we announced in the other section for either of the conferences we already talked about. It was completely open. You have 2 random other predictions. So, Dom, you're going first.
All right, so my safe bet is Gwent, which Jordan alluded to earlier. But I'm going to throw in there that it's going to come out on iOS and Android.
Okay, do you want to throw out what conference it's going to be at?
That's a great question.
It's an extra point. It's an extra little thingy that might happen, might not.
Oh, man. I'll say it's at Microsoft. I don't know why. I'm just, yeah. So that's kind of the safe bet. I think we're all pretty confident this is happening, but I really think it's going to be a mobile game. So my bold prediction is that Rockstar is going to announce a new IP, and I'm going to get specific here. I think this is going to be not like anything they've ever done. They're going to go to space. That's where I'm going. We're going to see something GTA in some sort of other planet or some space something.
Question, do you think they're going to announce the next Red Dead plus this?
Oh, yeah.
Or is this their announcement for the C3? Okay.
I think they're going to do both of these things. They're going to have a huge presence. So.
Where is this revealed at? What conference?
Microsoft as well.
So the new IP at Microsoft. Okay. Sweet.
And then maybe Red Dead at Sony.
Okay. Well, we're only counting the new IP.
Just hold me to a new Rockstar IP in a sci-fi setting.
Possibly, yeah, sci-fi, and Microsoft will be on there, but you'll get bonus points if it's right or wrong.
All right.
Any extras you want to mention that don't count?
I think Zelda will not get a release date, a specific release date. They mentioned that it would release, on NX and Wii U, but they didn't say exactly when that would be, right? They just said March for NX rather. So it could end up being May that Zelda comes out as far as the information we have now.
Yeah.
And
I'd say that's got to be a launch day title for NX.
I hope
it
so.
Has to
you would think. But the reason they don't say the release date now is because that would out the release date for NX.
Yeah.
If that was the case.
Well, we already know it's March next year, right?
But we just know March though. So
yeah, I got you. If Zelda isn't a launch title, they're committing suicide.
Right.
So I'll go with mine. Both of mine aren't really safe, I would say. So the first one, Injustice 2, we already know it's a thing. It's going to be shown. But I think that it's going to have my specific prediction is that it's going to have Suicide Squad DLC.
Nice.
Okay.
I think it'll have specific Suicide Squad DLC, which ties in with the movie, obviously. I don't think this will be console specific. I think it'll just be a DLC that they show of, like, Injustice 2 is coming. Here's a bunch of Injustice 2. Also, at the end, it'll be a tease of, like, it'll show, like, the Suicide Squad logo or something. And then, in addition to this, is that when they're showing off the characters, I think they'll show off Beast Boy and Raven. Beast Boy wasn't in Injustice.
Yes.
That would be dope. And Raven
Shout
would be dope
out
as
to
well.
the Team Titans.
Yep, Teen Titans would be super dope. So, yeah, Injustice 2, Suicide Squad DLC, and hopefully we see Beast Boy and Raven, which would be super dope. My other prediction, kind of along Dom, but not really, has to do with Rockstar. I think Red Dead Revolution, whatever the hell it's called, will be revealed at Microsoft's conference. And the reason I say this is I think that after they unveil it, they're going to say, oh yeah, also Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare are available right now on backwards compatibility.
Boom, that's a good one.
No, that's definitely going to happen.
So I think they're going to be like, here's the third Red Dead, and also if you're not familiar with our franchise or you want to play until the game comes out, they're both available on backwards compatibility. I believe like a couple of months ago or a month ago, there was a thing that happened where you could download Red Dead. It was available, it showed on backwards compatibility, and then they ripped it off.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's going to be unveiled at Microsoft, and they're going to be like, yeah, and you can play Red Dead Redemption. Undead Nightmare is kind of a weird one because it is DLC, but it was standalone. People could buy it on their own. So. And it was, people love that. So, yeah, Red Dead at Microsoft, and we will get backwards compatibility of Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare on the Xbox One.
Good call.
So those are my two. I'll read my third one that I crossed out because Jordan made me feel bad when he was talking about Kingdom Hearts 3, and it made me feel as if this was super implausible. I just wrote down
Aw.
Kingdom Hearts 3, Marvel, Star Wars reveal.
That would be awesome, man. I think that's E3 next year,
Could
though.
happen.
Yeah, that's why I crossed it out. It was
After
like,
a
it
while.
sounds cool, but yeah, so those are my two predictions. What about you, Jordan? Closing out the
do-
show.
Real quick, I will say they have to put Star Wars in and Marvel in Kingdom Hearts 3. That would just the wait, that all this wait since Kingdom Hearts 2 on the PS2, like 12 or 14 years ago, that would finally make it worth it.
Think about this. Black, fade in, nothing but sand. You hear a lone, desolate voice of Jar Jar Binks. I'm just kidding. People
Well, I
hate
think
that,
you
but-
just do a lightsaber blast on, and it's a Keyblade lightsaber.
That would
Oh.
be so dope. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear your predictions. Close out
Okay,
the show.
so real quick, I'll just do my extras because we've already talked about them. I said JRPG Renaissance, which is happening either way. That's obviously very general. Rise of the Tomb Raider release date on PS4, which I think it's time. And
Smart call. Smart call.
that would really help them out, boosting up their exclusive situation with Last Guardian this year now that Horizon is delayed. And then, of course, I said Resident Evil. I think we're going to get some kind of Resident Evil reveal, which is a reboot, which is hopefully going back to horror like we've talked about and leaving all that crazy-ass RE5 and 6 shit behind. So my not-so-bold prediction is going to be Shadow of Mordor 2 gets revealed this year. It has been 2 years. If it releases this fall, that'll be 2 years later after the first game. And, of course, they had some DLC packs come out after that, but I think, they've had plenty of time to make the sequel. And that was a big sleeper hit, and that was something that turned out to be really popular. Obviously, it's already popular as far as the franchise is concerned with Lord of the Rings, so you don't even have to worry about that. And I do think it's going to be kind of a Fallout 4-ish situation where you get the reveal at E3 and you get the game in the fall, which would be great.
Do you think it's a Fallout 4 situation in the sense of it's more of the game you already love? Do you think they'll make leaps and bounds in gameplay, or do you think it's going to be, the Nemesis system slightly improved, slightly tweaked, different, obviously, story, but do you think it's going to be, the same character, and do you think it's going to be more of the same gameplay, or do you think they're going to make drastic differences?
Well, everyone was saying once that game came out, oh, dude, I'm so glad we're on next gen. I can't wait till next year when we get all these games with the Nemesis system in them. And there's zero of those 2 years later. So, yeah, it's like they've still got the monopoly there. They've still won the lottery. And I don't know if you're going to get the Nemesis system 2 or if you're going to get an even, if they blow your minds in a whole new way with the Nemesis system, with a whole other direction. But yeah, I think that's obviously, definitely going to be a huge part of that game and how they sell it.
It also fills the Assassin's Creed void we're going to have this year, if it comes out this year.
Ooh, that's a good call, Jared. I like that. Yep. Because speaking of, you can go back and play the first one, and there's side-by-side videos where somehow they legally got the, because I guess some of the guys at Monolith worked on Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
And so they literally took code from Assassin's Creed 2 and put it into Shadow of Mordor, and there's like identical animations, and he
I'm
scribbles
okay
up
with
the
that.
wall.
It works. Maybe somebody can steal the code from Monolith for the Nemesis system. That would help.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shadow of Mordor 2. Bold prediction here. Dom, you were talking some scat about Rockstar just a minute ago, and I definitely think we're going to see Red Dead Redemption sequel at least this year, if not at E3. But what Rockstar is going to do this year is they are finally going to come back
Agent.
and re-reveal Agent as a PlayStation 4 exclusive, because how the fuck are you going to sign a contract with Sony about making a PS3 exclusive game and then it just fucking disappears? Like, what the hell happened to that shit? I mean, can you imagine how big it would have been on PS3, even when PS3 was struggling? But now, think about all the added stuff with how big Rockstar's gotten after GTA 5, how much people love Rockstar, how big, the PlayStation audience has gotten with PS4. And just, yeah, people are clamoring for that type of stuff. People are clamoring for single-player DLC in Grand Theft Auto 5. People would go batshit, in my opinion, if they re-reveal Agent to be a PS4 exclusive. I think that will be a big deal.
I like that idea. It would be awesome. Yeah, people keep speculating, why is Rockstar at E3? There has to be something. Whether it's a new IP, whether it's Red Dead 3 or 1.5, because it might be a prequel, whatever. There has to be something. There has to be a reason they're there. And it could be multiple announcements. It could be all three of what we said. So,
and that game just straight up disappeared. People don't talk about it. We don't know any insider information. There hasn't been some big Kotaku blowout or anything where they told us all the inside story. And I think that, most people would just be like, oh, well, it's canceled. Games get canceled all the time, which is true. But especially this late in the game, like once the whole exclusive game had changed last generation, like these exclusive contracts with second parties, third parties, they're beholden to this. And I think that Rockstar at least owes Sony an exclusive, even if it is an Agent. So I'm just really jumbled up in my head about what that whole situation is. And I think the most, clear-cut, not solution, but the most clear-cut ending to that would be, yeah, we didn't cancel the game. We've rebooted it for the new generation and cleaned up all the textures and gameplay and everything. And I hope we do, man. I want to see it because I think, people were hyped on that game when it was actually a thing way back when.
Say real quick before we get to the outro of everything, real quick, I want to know what your guys' predicted game of the show is. Obviously, after E3, we'll talk about what our game of the show was when we saw everything. My prediction is going to be Sony Ben's Dead Don't Ride. I'm not a Sony fanboy, obviously. I don't own a console. But I think that this game has enough interest that they've been working on it, so I would assume they're going to come out and blow the doors off of E3 and really surprise people. My other ideas were going to be the Resident Evil reboot, just because it resonates with so many people, especially if it returns to the horror roots. People are going to love that. And my other idea was God of War 4, obviously. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Sony Ben. I think Dead Don't Ride is going to be game of the show. I think that's what people are going to clamor for. I think it's going to be a really interesting take on zombies and stuff like that, and I think people are going to really enjoy it. So
I got God of War 4.
I think that's a bold prediction.
Yeah. I have faith in Sony Bend, so hopefully. What about you guys? What's your predicted game of the show?
Yeah, I'm pretty solid. It's going to be God of War 4.
Okay.
I bet it's going to look amazing. And it probably won't be called God of War 4. It'll be a semicolon and a different subtitle or whatever.
Yeah.
God of War Mjolnir's Retribution or something.
Yeah.
Mjolnir's Retribution. A lot of people are saying that that game's going to be kind of the showcase flagship for Neo, which I could definitely see.
Game of the show, No Man's Sky. I'm just kidding. It won't be again.
It'd be a real turnaround, but for me, I'm going to say what I have listed here on my note is just unknown. I think that, last year Horizon was the big game that a lot of people called their game of show just because came out of nowhere, even though we did know that Guerrilla was working on an open world, possibly fantasy sci-fi RPG. We still didn't have enough of a grip from the leaks to really know what it was, and that really came out of nowhere and surprised people. So I definitely think it's a game that we have we just don't know about. We don't know, I'm not talking about Red Dead, where I think we can all say at this point, a Red Dead sequel is happening and it's about to be revealed. I think this one's going to hit us out of left field. So
if Rockstar announces that new IP that Dom says, that'll be game of the show.
Yeah.
Well, if that, or since I'm gonna, I do want to put a name on this unknown game, I'm gonna say it's Agent.
Okay. So we have Agent, God of War 4.
Dom's like, you're tripping, dude.
Sony Bend. I think Dom has the more guaranteed one out of us three.
Sure.
So before we head out, I want to get to our closing segment really quick. A couple of things to go through. We finally hit 50 followers on Twitter, which is awesome. Sometime in the week, around maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, Dom's going to tweet out a tweet saying this is the giveaway tweet, essentially something along those lines. And as long as you retweet or like that tweet, probably both of you like and retweet that tweet, and you're already following us, you'll be entered into the giveaway, and we'll be giving it away on next week's episode. And you'll be contacted through Twitter or email or something like that. So yeah, pay attention to Twitter for our Twitter feed and see that tweet sometime later this week. We also got 2 new subscribers on YouTube, which is awesome. There was something else I wanted to talk about.
May the force be with our Twitter subscribers.
Exactly. So before we get into the actual closing of the show, what are we going to be playing? I probably won't be able to get to play anything until like Wednesday, just because I'm going to be paying attention to the conferences super closely, taking notes and all that stuff. So I don't know if I have a lot of time to play anything until like Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to get back into Quantum Break, and I want to get into Overwatch, but it just depends on if I have time, because I want to be paying close attention to that stuff. So maybe I can make some other content for our channel and stuff like that. Also, along those lines, my Overwatch review just went up on our website, controlledinterest.com. It has a brand new outlay. The website looks completely different. Check it out if you haven't already. We're going to be posting a lot of content on there in the future, articles, pieces, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, check out my Overwatch review. I thought it was a great game. So, what about you guys? What are you guys going to be playing this week?
I have some unfinished business in Fallout 4 still, so going to be grinding through some more of that.
And then you're going to check out Snap Map and multiplayer, right, on Doom? Homework.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll see if I'm up for it.
Just a match in each. Just 5 minutes in Snap Map and a match in multiplayer. That's all I ask you to do.
Fair enough. I am.
Okay. Jordan, what about you? What do you have going on this week?
Well, don't trust me when I say it, boys, but I'm guaranteeing you right now I'm going to turn on that PlayStation 3 entertainment system, and I'm going to play some Persona.
Yeah, and Sony's going to announce a Vita, too.
God damn it, Dom. You're killing me over here. You're making me cry.
You really make me want to say that I'm going to play Child of Light this week, so we're both wrong.
You want to know a bold prediction for E3? Vita 2 is announced, and that's worth 10 points on our scale, I got to say.
Yeah.
If I get that right.
Okay, then I'm throwing one out there real quick that's worth 10 points. Microsoft announces a handheld.
God damn, that would be so cool, dude. We need it.
Yeah.
I want a mobile Halo so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so playing this week, like I said, Persona 3. When I watch E3, a lot of times, I'll watch like the conferences, but then I'm also watching game demos a lot from either IGN or GameSpot, and then I'll be watching Kind of Funny's pre and post shows and Easy Allies pre and post shows.
Developer interviews. Yeah,
totally, all that kind of stuff. A lot of that I'm going to be doing on my second screen, and just have, probably my PS4 or my PS3 going, playing either Persona or doing side quests and exploring in The Witcher. And then also, not necessarily game related, but I was reading the latest Star Wars novel Bloodline about Leia this week, and just kind of got super bored with it, so I decided to switch it up and start reading Stephen King's Dark Tower series, because they're currently working on a movie. And I finished The Gunslinger, the first book, in a day, and really started loving the series, and started the second book last night, which starts right after the first one, and so far so good. So gonna be reading some Dark Tower this week.
Awesome. So you heard what we're going to be doing this week, guys. Really quick, if you haven't already, if you have Netflix, go watch Bo Burnham's new special. It is so good.
Do that.
It's fantastic.
Oh, and of course, I'll be playing Watch Dogs too. Shout out to Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs as well, guys, not Watch Dogs 2. We don't have that kind of access yet.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, listening. All of the follows, likes, subscriptions, all that stuff's appreciated. If you haven't already, definitely share us. We really appreciate it. Shout out to Ellie, who's way bigger than us, and she subscribed and followed us. Yeah, we really appreciate the support. You're awesome. Yeah, so catch us in episode 16. This was a doozy of an episode, almost 2 hours. Sitting around an hour 40 between before editing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this huge episode. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and watching on YouTube or listening. Any closing words, guys, for E3?
Controlled Interest, first E3 2016, baby. It's going down!
Dom, can you follow up?
Yeah, there's nothing I can say that would follow. Just
Beyond!
Just goodbye.
Alrighty, guys. Catch you next time. Bye.